Hello and welcome to this edition of Full Circle. I'm your host, Keith Weissett, licensed clinical social worker. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it very, very much. And we're always very thankful for all of the people that work at South Central. They make a huge difference. And we're very glad to have with us today Ms. Katie Gibbons, LCSW. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, sir.
All right, we appreciate it. Of course, BACS Clinical Director, and Miss Amy Cobb, their Regional Prevention Coordinator. So thanks for joining us, Amy. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So this is a really important week to talk about. I love the fact that y'all celebrate this, but Amy, tell us a little bit about the history that goes with Red Ribbon.
So a lot of people know Red Ribbon Week and it's
Right.
celebrated in a lot of schools, but not many people know the story behind it.
Right.
So it all started with Kiki Camarena, which we'll show you a picture of. So he came from Mexico to California when he was 9 years old.
Okay.
He went on to college, got a criminal justice degree, went into the Marines.
Right.
In the 70s, he joined the DEA.
Okay.
And then in early 80s and 85, he was transferred to work undercover with the drug cartel in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
So while doing that, he also had the informant, of course.
Right.
He was close to closing it because they had government officials involved in the case and whatnot. It was like a multi-billion drug trafficking going on.
Sure.
They found out his identity. So him and the informant were kidnapped, tortured, and then killed.
And murdered.
So in response to that, they started at his high school in the DA. They all wore the red ribbons. They had the pledge at his high school. And then later on in 88, Nancy Reagan was the honorary
lady.
chairperson,
Right.
and Congress started the 8-day Red Ribbon Week.
Oh, wow. And so now we have Red Ribbon Week because of
Yes,
that.
for people who are affected by the violence of drugs and then to discontinue, of course, the drug use.
Wow. I love that. I got to tell you, I never knew the story. And that's my prime time. Like all of those things took place as I'm finishing high school, starting college, getting a psychology degree, and then a social work degree. So all of
Yes.
that was kind of in that timeline.
And it's such a great way to honor him.
Wow,
And
no
because he
kidding,
was
huh?
a huge hero at the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sacrificed a lot.
people who make a difference every day in improving the lives of those people through Red Ribbon Week, kind of like everybody that works at South Central Louisiana Human Services.
Yes.
Right. So speaking of, Katie, tell us a little bit about what we're going to celebrate and how we're going to do that.
Okay, so as an agency, we meet, me and a group of other employees, and we plan the week. So we all bring ideas. Last year, we did a Red Out Day,
Okay.
and we did a scavenger hunt
Okay.
where employees got to go and find red ribbon stuff. Now, and then this year we did red shoes and socks.
Okay.
We did a red phrase activity sheet, which was really fun.
Okay.
And we actually had a lot of participants. So, and then just this morning we drew names. So for to pick a winner, which just as appreciation for them celebrating.
Okay.
On Monday, usually of Red Ribbon Week, we do send out the story because
Right.
We always started
like
that
you,
way.
I did not
Right,
know
right.
the meaning behind
Why don't they
it.
teach us this in
Yes,
school? Right.
exactly.
And so again, there, just to cut you off for a second, that's the story behind the symbol. So if anybody's interested, you can check that out and pause your TV, and that's the rest of the story, if you will.
Yes.
And so Amy went over some of it, but want to let you know the story. So go ahead.
Yeah.
So we start with that on Monday.
Yeah, so we start with that on Monday, and we hand out red ribbons. This year's theme is "Be kind to your mind," but every year it changes. So,
Okay.
Kids across the nation are invited to send in their ideas or their images of what Red Ribbon Week would look like for them.
So we actually start that like almost like a year ahead of time.
So
you
actually
can kinda send in
they
stuff.
they send them in like starting in November, and then I think on the website it says till February, and then they vote on it.
I love
They have
it.
a committee that comes together and votes on it.
I love it. I want to kind of take a look at that week again. So Aaron, put
Yeah.
that up if you don't mind. Really exciting to be able to look at. So Monday, they received their red ribbons, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that took place. And then Tuesday, red ribbon phrases through the emails.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Then on Wednesday, the kids kick drugs to the curb. where they wear red socks and shoes. And you mentioned that. I wonder how many red shoes, probably a lot more red socks, but
Red
I would love to
socks,
see the red
yes.
shoes. That's kind of cool, right?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. And then on Thursday, the red scavenger hunt, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
kind of fun, huh?
Which is going on right now.
Right.
So I'm sure when I get back to the office, I'll have emails with pictures. Our employees really, really like that activity
Yeah.
because it's just fun.
Right.
They get to be silly. They get to, have a good time, make it fun. So,
Okay.
and then we'll post it on our social media.
Yeah. And then Friday's lay off drugs,
Yes.
LEI,
Yes. So
lay off drugs,
Yeah. So we're providing all of our employees with lays,
right?
so we can celebrate Hawaiian style.
Hawaiian style. And then, of course, Pink for Cancer Awareness,
Yes.
as we are in October,
course.
cancer awareness, especially breast cancer. And so I love it. So put the theme back up there one more time. We want people to know to be kind to your mind, live drug free. And there's a way to be able to do that. And if you're struggling with that, or if you're challenged with that,
Yeah.
we can reach out to South Central. It's one of those things where you guys do such a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
And I say that because I've been able to work with you for the last 30 years as we've kind of morphed into what South Central now is. And so that's just a wonderful thing. So professionally, it's a really big deal. So thank you both for
Yes.
what you do. Thanks for having some fun with Red
Yeah,
Ribbon
for
Week.
sure.
Thanks for educating me. You're supposed to learn something every day. I went out and learned something. I love it. We want the rest of the public to do that as well. Ladies, thanks again for joining us. We
Thank
appreciate
you
it
for
as
having me.
always. All right, guys, and that will do it for this particular edition of Full Circle. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.